should do, if you're going to do it, then you have to go into Epstein's friends. This Reed Hoffman spent a lot of time on the island. I was never on his island. Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. You're going to have to look into his friends, because if they're going to do that, then I think the perfect guy to do it would be Southern District, somebody like Jay Clayton. I understand that's who's been assigned.
But does the congressman have a point though?
You're ordering the release of more files.
Does Marjorie Greene have a point?
Does she have a point?
I know nothing about her.
On the release of all the files.
Well, they can have whatever they want. They already do. I think they have 50,000 pages already. Look, this is a Democrat hoax. This is a hoax put out by the Democrat, and a couple of few Republicans have gone along with it because they're weak and ineffective. But this is a Democrat hoax to get away from the fact that they just lost the shutdown, and they've lost the elections. They've lost the big election, to me, in a record number. They lost the popular vote. They lost the swing states. They lost everything. I think it was 312 to 220 something. So this is a way of not talking about that. It's a hoax. This is no different than Russia. And it's headed up by Democrats and some very weak Republicans.
I was just wondering if you have a timeline
Very
for
few.
when you might release more of those files.
Which ones?
Democrats to Epstein.
Well, I don't know about those ones. I know nothing about it, but I understand they released like 40 or 50,000 pages already.
Okay.
And nobody knows. I will say this. If they had anything, they would have used it before the election. Okay? I can't tell you what they put in since the election. But if they had anything, you don't think they would have used it before the election? They would have gladly used it before the election.
So speaking of the election,
Jennifer, go ahead.
well, why was your team encouraging Congresswoman Goldberg and Congresswoman Mace to not pursue?
Because we think it's bad to talk about it, because it gets away from the subject of how well the Republicans are doing. We have the greatest economy. We have the largest investment ever made in our country's history. We have all of these great things happening. We have very little inflation, whereas he had record-setting, the biggest inflation in history. All of these things are good. And when you talk about the Epstein hoax, what happens is you're not talking about how well we've done.
Mr. President, on that subject,
That's the whole purpose behind them. They want to waste people's time, and some of the dumber Republicans like that.
Mr. President, on that subject, are we going to see?
It's mostly Democrats, by the way.
Are we going to see more domestic travel from you as you try to sell that message? Are we going to see some rallies?
Domestic travel.
Yeah.
Well, I want to spend time here. I just got back from a big trip, a very successful trip with China and with, all the countries. I saw many countries over there. We stopped in Malaysia, Japan, South Korea. It was a phenomenal trip. We had a great meeting with President Xi, who's, a great leader, great country, actually, whether you like it or not. And China's a great country, amazing place. And Japan, amazing place. We stopped in tremendous countries with tremendous leaders, and we did really well. We brought back trillions of dollars in trade and other things.
But someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene would say you're spending too much time overseas. You're not spending enough time selling your domestic.
So I heard that Marjorie Taylor Greene said, "Oh, gee, I'm spending too much time overseas." So let's say I don't meet with China. You know what's happened right now to Georgia and to every other state? They're not working because your magnets and your rare earths would have kicked in, and there wouldn't be a factory in the world that was working. If I didn't have a relationship overseas with China, with Japan, with South Korea, with all of them, Malaysia, I went to Malaysia, but visited many more countries than that. If we didn't do that, if we just stayed right here, you would right now have no factory anywhere in the world that would be working because of rare earth with China. Not only that, we made a deal with China. We take in billions and billions of dollars. We made a deal with Japan. We take in billions of dollars. We made a deal with South Korea. We're taking in billions and billions of dollars. If I would stay home, none of that would be happening. And by the way, I stay home 98% of the time. The last thing I want to do is travel 22 hours in an airplane, as nice as this plane is. So, Marjorie Taylor Greene is not anyway. I mean, she is a very different thinking than I have. Something happened to her over the last period of a month or two where she changed, I think, politically. I think that her constituents aren't going to be happy. already I have people calling me. They want to challenge her to a race in her district in Georgia. And, that's too bad. She's lost a wonderful conservative reputation. But when she says, don't go overseas, if I didn't go overseas, we might be in a war right now with China.
Will you endorse
This is on
China
nuclear testing,
proposal?
sir. On nuclear testing, sir. Are you receiving any meetings about
We're going to have
concerns about
nuclear testing because other people test. We have other countries that test. We have more nuclear weapons than any other country. I'm the one that renovated them and built some, and I hated to do it, but I had no choice because they have it. We have more. Russia's second, and China is a distant third, but within 4 or 5 years, they're going to be up with us.
How soon?
What I would like to do is I would like to go denuclearization. In other words, where we have a meeting primarily of the top 3 to cut back on nuclear weapons. That would be a great thing.
How soon can the test take place, though?
Pretty soon.
China, Russia, US?
We're number 1, Russia's number 2, China's number 3. They're catching up. They're quite a bit distant from us right now, but they'll catch us in 4 or 5.
Mr. President, can you
But
tell us?
I think the best thing would be if we denuclearize.
Mr. President,
Could you tell us why you needed to get an MRI? I understand that the results were good, but what was it for?
Because it's part of my physical. Getting an MRI is very standard. Well, you think I shouldn't have it? Other people
No,
get
but
it.
typically an MRI
I had an
is a
MRI.
specific part of your body
Here's
for
what the
standard.
story is. I had an MRI. The doctor said it was the best result he has ever seen as a doctor. That's it. But I had an MRI as part of my standard yearly, or I think they do it every 2 years, but I have the physical every year. And the result was outstanding.
Is it your brain
You
or your
know,
heart?
I have no idea what they analyzed, but whatever they analyzed it well, and they said that I had as good a result as they've ever seen. Now, the other thing I took, as you know, very advanced test on mental acuity, because I think a president should have to do that. And as you probably heard, I aced it. I got a perfect score. I got the highest score. I got a perfect score. And the only reason I tell you that is it's one subject, unlike Biden and others, that you can take off your plate.
A question on nuclear testing, just being very specific. Are you saying you want to explode a warhead?
I don't want to tell you about that, but we will do nuclear testing like other countries do. We have more nuclear weapons than any other country, and we have to test.
Other countries are not exploding
Republicans took a
warheads.
hit in the last election. Do you think you'll get on the road for the next election?
Oh yeah, I'll be helping people. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be on the road helping people.
Would you be
It's very
open?
important. The midterms are very important.
Would you
And
be-
again, I think we should terminate the filibuster. Republicans should terminate the filibuster. The Democrats would do it immediately if they ever got power. And without Manchin and Sinema, they would have done it in the past.
Would you be open to endorsing someone primarying Marjorie Taylor Greene given her latest statements?
Well, it depends on who runs against her. I mean, I'm no longer much of a fan because I disagree with her policy. When she said that, going to foreign countries, bringing back trillions of dollars is not important. Do you think I want to go and be on an airplane for 20 hours? Some of you were with me. 22 hours to be exact, travel and then get off and make a speech and get people to invest hundreds of billions of dollars in our country. I'd rather do it without having to go, but if you didn't go, you wouldn't be able to have that kind of result. As an example, Malaysia, if you look at Thailand, I stopped a war in Thailand and Cambodia. If I didn't go to that region, I probably wouldn't have been able to stop that war. That war would have been very costly in terms of lives, but even costly in terms of us.
Are you meeting with Indiana lawmakers next week? Are you meeting with lawmakers from Indiana next week on
Not that I know of, I might be, I don't know. They will, I guess they're making a decision as to whether or not they want to gain for the Republican Party 1 or 2 more. By the way, I will say this. I heard 1 or 2 more seats. I heard that a big lawsuit will be taking place concerning the California hoax, where they're trying to get 5 more seats. And California is one of the most dishonest elections ever. They send out tens of millions of ballots to people all over the place. Many of those people get 2 and 3 ballots, and they come back. California is a disgrace on voting, and they're doing something that is very illegal. So we are or will be suing California on the 5 seats.
The Department of
that-
Justice will be.
The Department of Justice, yes.
You're
Being
meeting,
headed by the Department of Justice.
you're meeting with the Saudi Crown Prince next week.
More than meeting, we're honoring Saudi Arabia, the Crown Prince. Yes.
What are your goals for the meeting? Have you decided to sell F-35 fighter jets to Saudi Arabia? Are you going to do that?
Well, they want to buy a lot of jets. We make the best jets. We make the best missiles. You saw that when we took out the nuclear capability of Iran. No, you know, for 22 years they wanted to do that. No president had the guts to do it. We did it, and Iran is a different place. By the way, Iran wants to negotiate a deal too. Everybody wants to negotiate with us now. If we didn't have military strength, if we didn't rebuild our military in my first term, and now we continue to do it, Biden dissipated it by giving a chunk to the Taliban. Not a good idea.
So, I'm sorry.
But you know what? The good news is it was a lot, but relatively very little.
So, yes to the jets, or you're not sure yet?
I'm looking at that. They've asked me to look at it. They want to buy a lot of 35, but they want to buy actually more than that fighter jet. Yeah.
Will the Abraham Accords be a part of that conversation? Perhaps getting
What?
the Abraham Accords, getting Saudi Arabia.
The Abraham Accords will be a part. We're going to be discussing. I hope that Saudi Arabia will be going into the Abraham Accords fairly shortly. We've had tremendous interest in the Abraham Accords since we put Iran out of business. Okay? Thank you much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. President.